So I remember throwing the gate open, privates throwing the gate open, and each of us scooped up a kid, and I grabbed this little girl who is, she was probably 5 or 6 years old. She had bright green eyes and dark auburn hair, and I looked down and she's like crying hysterically. And I'm trying to comfort her in English, and she's talking to me in Waziri, words that, like, there's a language barrier. And I'm like panicked, right? Because when you're in moments like this was my first day, my first moment in combat. When you're in a moment like that, it's like you don't really experience it. The moment almost kaleidoscopes around you, and you look back and it kind of feels like that, and you spend your whole life trying to go back and understand what happened. I remember turning around and just following this long line of American soldiers going all the way back to the aid station, which was right in the middle of our base. And all the while, the enemy just kept shooting at us, except for now the 107 millimeter rockets were like landing in our base. They were walking them into our base. And about halfway to the aid station, this 107 millimeter rocket lands probably 30 meters from where I was standing, almost knocks me off my feet, sucks the air right out of my lungs. Like, I got tears coming down my face because this black acrid smoke just felt like it was in every pore on my body. So I kept running as fast as I could to get to the aid station. Then I just started feeling this warmth spread out on my right hip. I'm holding a little girl like this, and her legs are just right there. And I'm like, oh my God, like I've been hit, a shrapnel wound on my first day in combat. And I just start panicking, start furiously patting down to find the source of this injury. And I put my hand down right on the bone of where this little girl's leg should have been. And in the chaos of the moment of scooping up little kids at the front gate, in the panic of that moment, I just didn't even notice. And so I see this, and it's just, my whole right pant leg is just covered in blood. And I see this, and I just I didn't panic, I didn't stop, but my body just went on, it was like autopilot at that point. We ran this little girl into the aid station. In the aid station, these bright red lights, and you got medics everywhere. And we had one doctor on our base who was running from, you had these flat aluminum tables, right? And it's funny the things that you remember in those moments, but the way that the light reflected off those aluminum tables, it's just, I think about that every day. And I remember putting the little girl down on the table and taking a few steps back and trying to collect myself. And when I opened my eyes, everyone in the room is standing around and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. And it's because the little girl had died before I could even get her there. And I didn't even realize it at the time.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, it's in combat, there aren't rules, It's like first day. So I remember scooping her little body up, walking her back to her father, and giving her body to her dad. And her dad just looking at me and going like this, like thank you. And he took her little body and walked off, and it was over just as fast as it started. And I remember that night I was so horrified by the blood on my uniform. I remember changing into my PT uniform, my physical training uniform, and I brought that old uniform out to the burn pit that we had outside our base, and I threw it in there on my first night in Afghanistan. I just watched that uniform burn.